Hello and welcome to Make a Difference, the show about volunteers and volunteerism in Montgomery County. I'm your host, Michael Bruin. As we've learned over the years, there are many caring people in Montgomery County who take it upon themselves to care for their neighbors in need. The organization we'll hear about shortly demonstrates that there are a lot of good people out there who want to help. For 13 years, Women Who Care Ministries has found these good people, but we know there are more out there who might like to get involved, whether to help provide food for families, assistance to victims of domestic violence, or to help with their signature program, Kids Eat Backpack Weekend Meal Program. Shortly, we'll hear about this and how you might be able to help local children and their families in need through a variety of services. But first, here are a few other volunteer opportunities available that might be of interest to you. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Make a Difference. I'm Michael Bruin. I'm pleased to be joined by Judith Clark, founder and executive director of Women Who Care Ministries, and Deborah Souls, a board member who can tell us firsthand what it's like to serve the organization. And welcome both of you to the show.
Welcome.
It's really nice to have you. So Judith, tell me how this got started and what is this Women Who Cares?
Well, Women Who Care Ministries originally got started over 13 years ago in June of 2001. And we first got started as a women's fellowship, which means that women would meet over my house the third or fourth Sunday of every month. And we would sit and we would discuss women issues, everything from A to Z. And it was a very healing environment. It was a very sacred environment in that women could share their innermost secrets without fear of being judged, without fear of what they shared in that private area getting out to the public. So.
And we were talking in the green room beforehand, and what happened is from that healing, then you guys wanted to reach out.
Yes. What happened from that healing, which was very critical, was that was where the mighty outreach was sprung. And we found out in retrospect that it was necessary for us to first start as that women's fellowship so that we could heal our inner self, so that we could move from a place of selfishness to selflessness, which is required in order to be able to serve the community.
And Deborah, I know you're a board member, and that's fine, but we were also joking before the show that you were involved, if not the first meeting, the second. So you've been involved the entire 13 years.
Hard to believe it's been 13 wonderful years. I've just so enjoyed getting to know Judith, and she's right. When she opened up her home, we were able to come in and just be free about some of the burdens and things. It was just so impressive to me that we were able to heal amongst ourselves, and I've been involved ever since.
And Judith, this has grown now. You are a nonprofit organization with paid staff and volunteers and a board.
Yes.
Tell me how. So what is it that your organization does?
Okay, what we do.
Because you're not meeting anymore.
No.
Just in a living room.
We're not
reaching out.
Yes, we've been out of the living room for years. And what we did from the Women's Fellowship, we sprang out into the mighty outreach. We had always been feeding homeless from the very beginning. We had always been going into the jails, uplifting people and getting them stabilized to help reduce the rate of recidivism of going back and forth into the jail system. But what happened was once we moved into our facilities, and even prior to moving to our facilities, we began doing food drives at local establishments, and we began raising tons and tons of food. And initially, we donated this food to other nonprofit food pantries in the county because we didn't have Manna, Gaithersburg Help, Germantown Help. Right. But then we developed our own client base and then began having all of the food to serve our clients. So we provide safety net services to families in need, and those safety net services is hunger initiatives. Also, we help people who are victims of domestic violence to not just get out of that unhealthy relationship, but to get stabilized, to go back to work, to get the counseling, to get all of the components that they need to make them whole again, to make them and keep them free again.
Right. And Deborah, I know you're a treasurer on the board. That's what you told me before.
Yes.
Where does the funding come from?
Oh, it comes from several places: city, state, local, and
Is there county funds that
there are
come?
county
Oh,
funds.
yes.
There are county
Absolutely, absolutely, through the Montgomery County Council, and we also have individual donors, and that's one of the things we're looking to increase and expand is the individual donors that are able to give into our organization.
Well, tell me about this backpack program. I think this is a wonderful idea.
Thank you. Our Helping Kids Eat Backpack Weekend Meal Program is our signature program, and currently we're feeding over 1,600 kids with backpack meals with kid-friendly, nutritious, non-perishable items. These are the kids who would otherwise go hungry over the weekend. Typically, they get the free and reduced meals Monday through Friday. So when school's not in session on Saturdays and Sundays, these kids go to bed hungry. So with the Helping Kids Eat Backpack Weekend Food Program, we come against child hunger and malnutrition. So now when they come back to school on Monday, they're able and ready to learn and focus. They're not grumpy anymore.
So every Friday,
Every Friday, the
staff
teachers-
and volunteers
Yes.
put these together?
Yes. Yeah, here's how it works. We contact the schools, or the schools contact us, and then they send a permission slip home to the families, and then the families sign back on, letting them know that yes, this is something that their kid would be interested in. But very important to mention is that the parents also list any allergies or dietary restrictions that that child may have.
Sure.
So the teachers and other school personnel gets that information back to us, and so we prepare the food sacks accordingly. Then we ship them into the schools, and then the guidance counselor very discreetly puts a food sack into
great.
each
So
kid's
the
backpack
child's
to
not
take home. That's right. So we come
uncomfortable or
against shame
something.
or anything like that. So it's a very private, issue, and so they take it home.
And actually, the children are very, very proud of this
Yes.
food. I can tell you, it's come full circle for me because here's an organization I joined 13 years ago, and now all of a sudden, my granddaughter starts school. Her first week of school, she comes home, she's got her backpack, and she's so proud. It's so heavy, and she pulls out all this food. And, look, Grandma, and what was the wonderful thing about it for me is that I see how helpful that food is for my daughter and my granddaughter. That food really helps put food on our table, and it's healthy, nutritious food. So for me to have been a part of an organization, and for now to see my granddaughter reap the benefit, and she's just so excited every Friday when she comes home with that food.
Yes, they are excited. We were out at a food drive at Walmart because we get the food through many fundraisers, outside at local supermarkets and places where food is sold. And a bus driver gave us a $20 donation, and he said prior to this food program, these kids were out of control on Friday. He said, but when they jump up on my bus, he said they're excited. It's like it's a holiday. They're easy to manage, and they brag about it. So it's very discreet from the school and from our viewpoint. But the kids, most of them, they brag about it. They're not ashamed about it at all.
And you were telling me before the show too about working with the prison and young.
Oh yes, yes, we
talk
do
about
many
that
initiatives. We have a program called Man Up for Success, and so we go into the local prisons and
Man Up for Success.
Man Up for Success.
I like that.
And we teach them the tools. Re-entry doesn't start when they get out. Re-entry actually starts when they're in there because it's all about changing the mindset. It's all about changing their perspectives, taking ownership of how they got themselves in that place in the beginning, and then making the necessary changes while they're in there so that when they come out, they're fortified and they have what it takes on the inside of them to ward off all of the negative forces that are going to just be waiting for them to have them go right back to jail.
And if people are interested, I think now's a good time to maybe pause and get some contact information. Is there a phone number people can use?
Oh, yes. Now, as far as volunteerism or making donations.
Or being on the board.
And we definitely are always recruiting and looking for more board members. The number to call would be 301-740-2777, or they could visit our website at www.womenwhocareministries.org. And if they're making a donation, of course, because we're a nonprofit, all of the donations are tax deductible, and they would be given a receipt. They would be immediately put in position to volunteer. We have volunteer opportunities, whether you're 9 or 90. Kids come in to get the student service learning hours.
Oh, good.
Yes,
good.
But also I want to mention that we work with the teen court program. When kids get into minor offenses, we're able to help them to get their community service hours. And it's so good because now you have kids helping kids, and the kids' worth and self-esteem is restored through that. And then many times the parents want them to continue with us from teen court on to the SSL hours.
And Deborah, I know we were joking beforehand too that being on the board doesn't take a tremendous amount of time, and they're wonderful people on it, but you wind up getting dragged in and then you're actually working the events and stuff.
That's true, and it's quite a joy because you really want to be out there during the food drives. It just gives you so much energy. But yes, we are looking for people to serve on the board of directors as well. We currently have about 8 people. And what we do is we set the mission statement, we help with resources and identify the constituents. We try to keep Judith on track and give
She has a tremendous
she
amount
has a lot of
energy.
And we set special committees up, and there's just several ways for a person to serve on the board of directors. It's very, very fulfilling.
What's the commitment? How is there?
Well, we'd like
few
to
hours a month?
Yeah, the commitment is maybe 5 to 6 hours a month, and we hope that an individual would be able to commit 1 to 2 years in serving. But it's a tremendous opportunity. For me as a professional, I have an IT background. I'm in financial services right now, but I tell you, if you have a heart for the community, it's an excellent way to give back and to kind of see how this all happens, how you put it together. As the ministry grew, I applaud Judith for putting a board of directors in place.
And making it a nonprofit.
Things.
I mean, it really is a structured organization.
It's structured. Yes. She brought structure to something that was it was just growing so quickly. And so as a professional, I just found it to be a great way to give back into the community, but at the same time, just sort of give you some more skills.
Absolutely. Judith,
Yes.
Give the phone number and the web address again if you wouldn't
The phone
mind.
number, yes, the phone number is 301-740-2777, and our website is www.womenwhocareministries.org.
Wonderful. And we only have a minute. I told you guys it was going to go. We
Yes.
were having so much fun in the green room before the show.
Yes.
But in the minute that we have left, talk about, instead of, you were celebrating anniversaries before with dinners and things like
Yes.
that, and you've changed that now
Yes.
for this year.
Okay, well, as of June 2014, we will be celebrating 13 years of service to the community. So instead of the traditional sit-down dinner, we're celebrating it through a campaign. The theme of our campaign is It Takes a Village to Feed a Kid, and we will be officially launching that campaign the first Saturday in September 6th, at the Safeway, who is going to be one of our major partners in this initiative. So we just want everyone to come out to the Safeway on Saturday, September 6th, to buy food to support the Helping Kids Eat Backpack Weekend Food Program, and find out at that time other initiatives of how they can serve and help us to feed more kids through the Helping Kids Eat Weekend Food Program.
Wonderful. We are completely out of time. Thank you both so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
And
we appreciate it.
Good luck with the ministry.
Thank you.
Our guests have been Judith Clark, founder and executive director of Women Who Care Ministries, and Deborah Souls, a board member with the organization. For information about volunteering with Women Who Care Ministries or other organizations in Montgomery County, contact the Volunteer Center at 240-777-2600 or visit their website at montgomeryserves.org. And remember, as a volunteer, you can make a difference.